Welcome to this series of Meet the Women of Brookside. Today we have Lynette, who is our baker. She is going to be showing us our sourdough baking start and what you can do with it. We actually used this during, I think I'm allowed to say, quarantine. Yes. She showed us right before during our moms meeting, and we all gained about 5 pounds during quarantine making bread. So I thought during the holidays we could bring Lynette on here and she'll teach us how to make bread.
Yes. And also during the quarantine, that's why no one could find flour. Because everybody, all the Brookside moms girls were baking bread.
Oh
yeah. So anyways, this is a bread start that I got. Oh my goodness, my oldest daughter was in high school, and that was 23 years ago about. And I got it from our senior pastor's mother, Margot Dubois.
Oh, yeah.
And you think, oh my, this is an old bread start. What is this?
She's not that old.
Yeah, no, but the bread start is. But you feed it every week and it keeps just multiplying, or you throw away. And so it's not moldy or terrible looking. But I keep it in a plastic jar. You feed it, yes. And you can't really see it. It's a liquidy stuff.
Oh.
And I just threw some on there, and I have some. We'll clean that up. You feed it, and there is going to be a recipe that will be put up about feeding this bread start. So it begins with the bread start, and you feed it 1 cup of warm water, 3 tablespoons of instant potatoes, which is like Hungry Jack or any brand of instant potatoes, and 3/4 cup sugar. You put it, fix it in here, stir it, and that's what you feed it you can feed it as much as in 3 days. I've gone 2 weeks without feeding it because I'm like, oops, I haven't fed my bread start. I better feed it.
So it's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill unless you let it go 2 months. Then you better get a new one. Yeah, it's pretty dead. Right.
So can I say one thing I tried? Lynette was so sweet and brought me a starter. I am not a cooker, baker, or anything like that. But I'm like trying to be healthier, so the whole sugar thing, the cup of sugar you said. So I decided to try.
That's 3/4 cup sugar.
So that's maybe why mine died. So I tried to, substitute the sugar for monk fruit because that's a popular sweetener right now. Some of you buy it at Costco and stuff because it's supposed to be equal parts, equal whatever. So I must have put 3/4 cup of the monk fruit in. And I'm not sure that worked. So I would recommend using real sugar.
Use real
you
sugar.
Say that?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, don't be
yes.
healthy.
Or a sweetener.
There's no health in this.
No, none. Because I've tried different things and it doesn't work.
Okay, good.
So this is something, if you want rolls or cinnamon rolls or bread, whatever, you need to plan ahead. You can't just say, oh, tonight I want some rolls, because it doesn't work that way. You feed this, what I just said, the potato flakes, water, and sugar, and you need to let it set out on your counter for 8 to 12 hours so it gets room temperature.
Okay.
So after you feed it, which will be all on these bread instructions that will be posted, after you feed it, you can make your dough for bread. So what it takes will be, there's the recipe on your instructions, what it takes: flour and some more sugar and oil and a cup of your bread start. That's why you need the bread start. You fed it, so now you've got extra bread start. And now you're going to take a cup of this bread start to mix with your dough.
And you leave the rest in there.
And leave the rest in it and put it in the refrigerator.
Okay.
For the next time, whenever you want to do it. If you don't want to bake, I just feed it and put it in the refrigerator after it's set out 8 hours.
Okay.
But then your cup's going to get up to here. My container is like a big Cool Whip container that has several recipes of the bread. But if you don't want to keep that much, just dump it down the drain. All you're dumping down the drain is potato flakes and sugar and water. So
True.
It's not that expensive. But, always be sure you keep a cup. Okay, so we fed it. It's set out. Now I made my dough. And it says 6 cups of flour. I have tried to use gluten-free flour. Doesn't work very well.
No healthy way around this.
No healthy way. You can use whole wheat flour
Okay.
or flour if you want. I always just use wet bread flour. The recipe says bread flour. I do have a cousin who has this, and she said she uses regular flour.
I use regular flour.
And it works perfectly.
Okay.
I personally think it's more sticky with
It is.
regular flour.
It definitely
Bread
is.
flour makes it not quite as sticky, but you can do what you want, but do use regular flour, not gluten-free flour.
Okay.
Okay, so we made I fed my dough, I fed my start in the morning. It's set out 8 hours,
Okay.
and it's evening time, around dinner time or so, I make my dough, and I make my dough.
Okay.
And so I got it all mixed up, and there's a slide that's going to show you what the dough looks like in my bowl. It's just this round little ball.
Okay.
Okay, so that's in the evening time, and then the next evening, so like I said, you don't have rolls yet.
Oh boy.
24 hours later, I have my bread dough ready to go. I have my bread dough here, which is ready to go, that I'm going to show you.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but
Like,
it was
that 1 cup?
this
Yes,
was
that's
one
one.
recipe.
That was
Yeah.
1 cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
the 6 cup of flours
You
and
didn't
everything.
multiply that.
Nope, this is one recipe.
Goodness gracious.
But in 24 hours, it's going to rise because
And get
there's
larger.
the yeast that's in the bread start. It's just going to get larger, and you'll end up with something like this.
Okay.
And I also have a picture that will show you that it's important you use a plastic bowl.
Okay.
I
didn't know
failed
that
to
either.
say that. It's important you use a plastic bowl, and you got it there on the bottom, and that you cover it overnight. I failed to. When I make my dough, I just sit it on the counter. I don't seal it. I just cover it
okay.
like that
Okay.
overnight.
Just so the dust doesn't get in.
The dust or the bugs. Yeah.
Or my gerbils.
So now it's the next evening, or however you want to space that out, and I am ready to make rolls. So I'm going to take, I did wash my hands, so we're ready. I take some of my bread flour. I just kind of sprinkle it over my dough here, and I just kind of, I don't really need it much. I just kind of push it down. Push it down, put a little flour on it because it's
So what is that doing for it?
It's
making
just
it less sticky.
It's making the flour's making it less sticky, and it's going to get it ready for. It kind of ends up then.
Oh, nice.
Instead of that bubbly,
Yeah.
it's more of a consistency
That's
for
way
bread.
less sticky than when you use regular flour.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
hands are
So you're not measuring this. You're just
No,
sprinkling.
I'm just sprinkling.
Okay. I'm a baby cook. So
Oh,
yes.
okay. No,
I'm
just-
here for the baby cooks.
I don't think you can put too much flour in it.
Okay.
I think it's just enough so it's not sticking to my hands.
Gotcha.
So I've got it kind of down. I'm going to work with this big hunk of dough in thirds.
Okay.
So, and that's just eyeballing it. I'm going to take some flour and put it on I use this brown cutting board. It's a wood cutting board. If you clean your counters really well, you could probably do it on your counter. You could put it on your counter. And and I'm going to show you how to make dinner rolls first. Dinner rolls is for years, that's all I made. So I just take this dough and kind of
Guess a third.
guess a third of it. And I'll take that square pan. Oh, it's right here. I'm sorry. And then I just kind of move it around on this and punch it down. That's it. And
Kids would really enjoy doing this.
yes, I have one of our members of church. To say names.
I don't know.
A member of church here, long time ago, I did this bread start for a program called Apples of Gold. And one of the members got this, and she does it with her 3 boys all the time.
Aww.
They love doing it, and they use it as their bread ministry for
Oh, wow.
take it to neighbors, elderly neighbors. So yes, kids
need
would
to do
enjoy
that,
doing
yeah.
this. So I got this dough, I just kind of moved. And to make my dinner rolls, all I do is I take this in my hand, and if you can see that, I just kind of cut it off with my fingers.
What? That's
She
so
makes
easy.
it seem so easy, but it's hard. She makes them perfect.
No, they're not perfect.
Compared to mine, there's way more perfect.
But that's literally all you do.
That's all I do.
Now the kids would enjoy popping the dough's head off like that.
Yeah,
They would-
that's all I do. 1, 2, 3,
Judah
4,
would
5,
love it.
6,
Yes, he would. So you
7,
try to
8.
make
I try and get 9 out of
Okay.
a thing. So if one's a little sloppy, I just put it. So I have 9 little balls here that I just literally cut
Yes.
off with my finger.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to put 9 of these
into a greased pan. She's already pre-greased this.
What did you grease it with?
Crisco.
Yeah.
Or you could use probably
no healthy
spray.
way around it.
Yeah, no help. You could probably use a spray if you want, but so
Probably use like an olive oil spray if you wanted to.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to. So I'm going to have 9 rolls. And if I making all rolls, I'll do a 9 by 13 and put 18 rolls in.
Okay,
But this
double
is
it,
just
yep.
half.
Okay.
So however you can make 24 rolls in a 9 by 13. However you want to do it.
However big or small.
So now when I have this done,
Yes.
I'm going to. You're not done. You can't
no.
bake them yet.
I can't do this.
You need to let those. I made this say in the evening now. All this the next morning.
Okay.
I'll bake them.
And they'll rise up and be poofy and beautiful.
Do you just
No,
put
right.
saran wrap on it, or what? Do you
I
do?
cover them with
I need to know
a
this.
little towel, which I have somewhere here,
A little towel. Okay, like a kitchen towel.
See a little towel.
like a kitchen towel. Oh, it's under here.
Oh, never mind.
I use not a terry cloth towel, but I don't think it really matters, but just a cotton
Yeah.
linen
Yeah.
towel. And I'll take the rolls and I'll just cover them like that and put them on my countertop
Set them over here.
and put them over there, and they're ready to bake the next morning.
Okay.
They will freeze beautifully.
What point do you freeze them?
I freeze them after they're baked and cooled.
Oh, you bake them first.
Yes, you bake them. Thank you for asking that. You bake them, and then that size will just fit in a gallon Ziploc bag.
Nice.
I will stick them in the freezer, and they're so handy to have if you have to take a meal to somebody, just to add to it. And people think they're pretty special.
They are. Delicious.
And
they're
A
delicious.
little butter on them.
little butter, yes.
Yep.
And now you can also, with this bread start, make several different things. You can make cinnamon rolls, which I'm going to show you. You can make French toast. You know, if you make a loaf of bread, you can put it in a bread pan. Take a third of it.
Yeah.
Take a third of your, I'll just get a third here. I didn't bring a bread pan, but take a third and just kind of shape it into a loaf. Stick it in your bread pan.
Wow.
And then bake it the next morning. Makes French toast, makes great toast, just toast with butter and jam.
Oh my goodness.
That's an easy way. You can make French toast, bread. I make pizza dough with it.
Really?
I can take this dough and I'll just take however much I think, and then I'll make the rest into rolls
Yeah.
and make pizza dough. You do not need to let the dough rise for pizza dough. You can just make it and use it
And bake it.
and bake it. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to, they're going to post up a website of a King Arthur's .com bread. It's a flour site, and it shows for discard. Like you could just use a cup of this. You can make coffee cake. You can make biscuits. You can make chocolate cake. You can make lots of things with those.
Okay.
And that will be shown up on the website with this video. So that's the dough. Now, do you have any questions about that? So far?
So in here, there should always be 1 cup.
Yep.
If
Okay.
you use it all, you won't have any left to feed.
Okay. But most recipes only use a cup.
They only use
anyways.
the cup.
So if you're feeding it, just take a cup out and use it. If you don't use it, toss that cup.
You don't have to toss it if you don't want to.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of growing mine right now for all of you who might want to start. So I'll have some to give away.
Okay.
And when you feed it, another question I always had was when you feed it, say I have 3 cups of this that I haven't discarded any, you still feed it the same amount. You still feed it the 3 tablespoons instant flakes, the 3/4 cup sugar, and 1 cup water. You don't increase that because you have more liquid.
Okay, that's
You
a good point.
still feed it the same amount.
Okay. And
Now-
it's separated in here.
Well, it's kind of, you have to stir it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't stirred that because I fed that a couple
Yeah.
days ago.
Okay.
This is really known for getting thrown away by husbands because they think it's something sour in their refrigerator. So be sure to tell your husbands that
Label
there's
it.
label it. Yes, yes. And also your lid has slits in it. So if you do, so that's how it breathes.
It's a living
I know,
creature.
it's a living creature. It's almost like
Feed it.
it's your pet.
Let it breathe. Yes.
Yes.
You have to put on your calendar when to feed it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you go away, someone has to take
Oh my
care
goodness
of it.
gracious.
No, it can go.
You could
too.
go away for 2 weeks.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
and it will be
interesting.
fine. But if you do give it to someone, be
Okay.
sure to tell them that your lid has slits in it because I've had people spill it in their car too.
Oh,
and that doesn't
true.
smell very good.
No.
No. So,
Aw.
We're
okay.
gonna make some cinnamon rolls now.
Yeah.
I am going to show you how to
Cinnamon
make
rolls.
cinnamon rolls, and this recipe will also be on the site here that you can get. Cinnamon rolls are a little bit more tricky to make because you can't just cut them off like that. You have to roll it out, and that's where the stickiness comes in. Have you made cinnamon rolls?
Oh yeah.
So,
Trista, I'm impressed.
Oh, my family has been obsessed with these rolls since I got the Bread Start.
I've been gifted them by Lynette, but I've never made them.
Oh.
But yeah, they're addicting.
They do make kind of a mess though.
Oh boy.
I found it was so fun over COVID to make these rolls, and like I said, I gave some
I
to
know you
our
brought us
pastor,
some. Yeah.
and I would give them to the neighbors, and they would think, "Oh my goodness, this is so wonderful," and it was nothing for me. It
But
was
it's
like,
such a treat, and it's the
It's a
gift
trip.
idea. This is what I need. I need something simple and easy because you get overwhelmed. What can I give somebody? I need to take them a meal or whatever. If this is simple and easy, I can do this.
well, this is pretty
think.
simple if you can get past the rolling out your dough.
I hope I have a rolling pin at home.
I have them at the dollar store. So
Do they?
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I just have one of the hand ones.
Oh
Not
yeah,
fancy.
I tell you,
Because you only use your hands anyway. I never
Right.
use the handles on the side.
right.
I never liked to make homemade pie crust because I never liked the rolling part of it.
So that's not fun for you.
Oh, it's okay, but this is just a messier process.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll this out into what?
Like
a 9
about
by-
9 by 30, maybe it's 12 by 9 or something.
Roll out to a 12 by 10 rectangle.
So this is what it
10.
looks like.
Oh, you're
Oops.
gonna lose it.
I lost it. That's what it looks like. Let's fix that. Did you see
So
that?
if there are holes in it, is that okay?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just rolls up.
Just roll
Okay.
it. Just roll it out.
Keep rolling.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there, I'll kind of show you like that.
Nice.
So I'm going to, all this is in the recipe. I'm going to spread this with
Oh.
5 tablespoons of melted butter.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pour that over this.
This is the fun, messy part.
This is the messy part, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then oh yeah, it rolls. And then I'm going to take just a pastry brush or whatever you want to and just spread it out
Yum.
on here.
About
Spread
the
out.
whole healthy part. You.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that.
No, this is for special occasions like Saturday mornings every Saturday.
Aw.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
No, I don't have it every Saturday for me, but I do give it to my grandchildren, and they love it.
Oh, yeah.
That's their
then
mother
send
wouldn't
them
let them
home.
have it with
That's
on
what
school
grandmas
mornings.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, but on a Saturday morning. Okay, so I spread it with the butter,
That's all.
and then I mixed. The recipe will tell you what to do. I mixed a 30 cup of brown sugar, 30 cup of white sugar, and a little over a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Oh,
I
that's
mixed
what
that
this
up in this
is?
bag,
Okay.
and I'm just going to sprinkle it all over
Oh, yes.
this.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's what makes them good.
Oh.
I hope you all can see the mounds of sugar. Not monk fruit, not stevia. What else?
Not
Brown sugar.
gluten-free sugar.
Yeah.
Flour.
Not gluten-free anything. Yeah.
Okay, I just kind of spread
Just
that.
real
Okay.
healthy, real
Yes.
sugar.
So this is spread with
Oh yeah.
the sugar
Yeah.
mixture. And then all you have to do
Oh, yeah.
is carefully, because this is why you want your board to be kind of floured
So
really
it doesn't
well.
stick.
But just kind of pick it up
Okay.
on the edges here
Yep.
and roll it.
Now see, I wouldn't have known which direct. Does it matter which way you roll it?
You want to do it the long,
Okay.
the long
'cause I
way.
may have started at this end.
Yeah, the long way, because I'm going to try and get 9 rolls out of this.
Okay.
Remember I said I divide it by thirds and I try and get 9. I could squeeze 10 out if I wanted to, too. However, you can make only 8 and your rolls would be bigger.
So are you doing this weekly?
No.
Oh.
Well, I was during COVID, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
when I could find bread flour. I do it every other week, maybe. And maybe not always make rolls.
Okay.
I didn't used to make cinnamon rolls until my cousin showed me how to do it. And I'm like,
But they
I
are so
like that.
good.
Yeah.
So
Oh
now
my
I'm
gosh.
into the cinnamon rolls. There's also a recipe that I will be sharing with you, and they're pecan sticky buns.
Oh my goodness.
And they're with pecans and that. Okay.
Sticky.
So I've rolled this up. I think you can see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's in a roll. And like I said, I try and make 9, so I have a knife here that I'm going to.
Oh.
It doesn't help to put flour on it because it comes off. But I'm going to try and divide this into 9 equal parts. So
all right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I'm just going to.
That was a good idea to measure it out first. I would have started chopping.
Yeah.
And then had
And I just kind of I leave it all here on the board.
Okay.
And I'm just going to cut these into 9 pieces.
So I'm going to need to invest in a plastic bowl.
You don't have a plastic bowl?
I don't know.
This is like, you can get this is a Tupperware.
Yeah, that's
but-
an ice one.
I hate to say how old that is, too. You probably
Oh,
can't buy one
That's what
like
Tupperware
that.
is. You keep it forever.
Yeah, you keep it
I think my
forever.
mom's is like 30-some years old.
Oh, yeah. You keep them forever.
Yeah. So I have a greased. I'm using disposal here because I'm going to give Trisha and Heather some. But then that's what I'll give it. If I give it to neighbors, it's nice to just give them a disposable
Yeah.
pan. I've just found out you can buy these really cheap on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yes, much cheaper than in the grocery store. But
You can probably get them at the dollar store too.
They do have
oh,
a
I
dollar
bet you
store.
can. Oh,
I wonder. We'll have
There
to
you-
compare that price.
There you go.
Amazon and dollar store.
so I greased this pan,
Okay.
and I'm just going to lay these rolls, which I just cut, that are all
Pretty side up.
pretty side up, and try and put 9 of these in a decent order. And we'll show you what that looks like.
Do these rise as well?
Yes, these will have to rise too.
So you've got a little bit of space between them.
I have a little space between them.
Yes, they get nice and fluffy.
Okay.
But what I made a mistake of the last time I made these rolls though, is I let my first bread rise too long, and then they weren't fluffy once they got to here because they didn't rise anymore.
Oh, really?
It rose
They
too
were
much in
flat.
the
I think
bowl.
24 hours is the max. You
Yeah,
want it to
don't
rise.
let it go any longer.
I think the instructions even says 8 hours or 12.
Okay.
I know some people that turn their oven on to 350.
Yeah.
Leave it on for 1 minute. Just turn it on to 350, just enough the heat kind of
Warms
get,
up.
and then they'll put their bread dough in the oven.
To speed
Turn
it
the
up.
oven off to speed up the, because it
try
takes the rising, it takes warm.
And I found with bread flour, it does take longer. Like do the whole 24 hours. Not with bread, with regular flour.
Oh.
It takes longer for it to rise. I don't know why.
It doesn't
But
have
with bread
the
flour.
rising.
It fluffs up nicely.
Oh.
So I made my cinnamon rolls, and they look like this.
That's so cool.
Beautiful.
And I'm now going to, like my dinner rolls that I made, I will put the towel over it.
Does paper towel work?
I would use
No.
I would use even a terry cloth towel if you need,
Okay.
but because this towel might sometimes raise up even a little because they raise.
Right.
Cover them, and then bake them the next morning for your breakfast.
Nice.
And then according on the recipe with how you make these, there's a recipe for caramel frosting that you can frost them with when they're cooled.
It's pretty amazing.
And then at that point, when you frosted, you can cover them with foil and put them in your freezer for whoever you want to give them to.
I love that.
You can use caramel frosting, you can use white frosting, whatever your family, cream cheese frosting.
Caramel
I bet
frosting
would
is
be
delicious though.
good. Which calls for more sugar.
And plain is amazing too. I think we've eaten them just plain.
Plain.
Really?
Yeah, we plan on eating them for breakfast, but they're gone before breakfast because we just keep a fork in there
Oh, they're good.
and we share a fork.
They're
Okay.
good.
So-
But I'm going to have information about that website that for different recipes you can have. I'm going to have my contact information. If you have any questions at all, you can text me or email me because I do find that people get this. They
Full post.
have lots of questions. But once you get in a routine, it's easy. I mean, I do it without thinking. I think my husband could do it because he's watched me so much. He hasn't sat there watching me, but
Aw.
he's finishing dinner, and I'm like, oh, I need to work on my rolls. And, stuff.
And this is something your grandkids are going to remember about you,
oh my goodness, they
which is going to be really sweet. I
It
want
will
my
be.
kids to have some kind of kitchen memory with me. Right now, they don't have much, so this would be something I'd like to start with
Oh.
them, like having them help roll the dough and knead it.
and push it down. And I've
Push
had
it
a
down.
couple of them help me, and I've taken pictures of like, oh look, they're starting my bread start. So it's really lots of fun. It's lots of fun to have. It's lots of fun to do ministry with it with your neighbors or your friends, and it was just one way of that I like to share. So
And do some people call this friendship bread? Or
it's
is
not
it's different?
actually. It's
Okay.
different than friendship bread because this is more of a yeast potato flake bread than friendship bread.
And you don't give, well, you can pass on the start, but you don't, like, you don't have, like, the bag where you have to knead it and feed it and then
is that friendship bread?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is something that you can easily just throw away. And if you throw it away and you say, oh, I'd like to do that bread start again, ask me. I'll probably still have it.
How many years did you say you think you had it?
Probably since 97, so is that 23?
Different container, right?
A different container, yes. And I will admit, I did one time when I fed it oil instead of water. And I was like, oh. But I had given it the start to a friend, and she could give me another start. So, you just keep kind of tossing it back and forth.
Oh, my word, I love it.
Yes,
Lynette, thank you.
You're welcome. And I've enjoyed doing this. It's been lots of fun.
This is awesome.
So you can either message us on Facebook if you have any questions about this, or if you want to get your own bread start. I will have the link below with all the recipes and everything, so you guys know what you're doing. If you still don't know what you're doing, you can still message us.
And rewatch this video. I just plan on just rewatching it and be like, what'd she say?
Or you can also text us at our new text line for 250-4700, and you're going to text the word women. And I personally will message you back, and we can get any questions answered. I'll pass them on to Lynette if I don't know the answer, because I've done this a few times, but Lynette's done this a few years. So